Have you ever found yourself wondering what great leadership really is? And how on earth you're supposed to get there? Well, today we're going to break down a pretty powerful framework that turns that big, vague idea into a concrete roadmap for your career. Let's dive in.
All right, so let's start by tackling a question that's pretty much at the heart of career growth for a lot of us. Leadership, right? We hear that word all the time, but it often feels so abstract, so hard to pin down. What if we could actually make it tangible? What if there was a clear map, one that showed the exact steps to get from being a total beginner to a real expert?
Well, that map actually exists. We're about to unpack a framework that does just that. It breaks leadership down into specific skills, and this is the crucial part. It defines what every single step of improvement looks like. Basically, think of it as your personal GPS for leadership mastery. So this framework, it stands on 6 main pillars. Some of them are all about driving the business forward, stuff like leading change and being results-driven. Others are focused on how you work with people, leading people, and building coalitions. And it's all propped up by business acumen and those fundamental competencies that are really the bedrock of it all. But here's the real game changer. The framework doesn't just give you a laundry list of skills. It actually measures your growth using proficiency levels. This is a system that gives us a clear, shared definition of what good and great actually look like when the rubber meets the road. I want you to imagine these levels as rungs on a ladder. Each one is a clear, solid step up in your ability. It lets you see exactly where you are right now, and maybe more importantly, what that very next step up looks like. So this journey has 5 distinct levels. It all starts with simple awareness. Then you move up through basic, intermediate, and advanced application. And the top of the ladder? That's expert, where you're not just using a skill anymore, you are literally shaping and innovating with it. Now, this all sounds great in theory, right? But to really see how powerful this is, let's track one single skill all the way up that 5-step ladder. We'll pick one from the results-driven pillar. Good old problem solving. Okay, level 1, awareness. At this stage, you're just starting out. You're applying the skill in the simplest situations, probably with a lot of guidance. You might see a really straightforward issue like, say, customer satisfaction is down, and you propose a simple, direct solution. Now we're moving on up to level 2, basic. The situations are a little bit trickier. You're not just solving a problem by yourself anymore. Now you're leading a team to brainstorm solutions for a pretty routine issue. You still need some guidance, but you're starting to facilitate things. Okay, now we're hitting the intermediate level. And this is where the complexity really starts to ramp up. The information you're getting is messy. It might be conflicting. It's probably incomplete. And your job is to make sense of all that ambiguity and develop a solid solution, maybe with a little guidance here and there. As an advanced practitioner, you are now tackling some seriously difficult challenges, and you need little to no guidance. You're not just dealing with messy data. You're the one actively pulling together and synthesizing information from tons of different sources to build a full-blown action plan. And finally, level 5, expert. At this point, you're the go-to person. You get handed the unprecedented, exceptionally difficult problems, the kind nobody's ever seen before, and you're the one who has to devise a new, complex, multi-tiered solution totally from scratch. So what's the big deal with this 5-level system? Well, it creates a common language for growth. This structure gives us a consistent ruler for measuring complexity that we can apply to completely different skills. And this slide just nails that perfectly. Look at this. At level 3, intermediate, developing others means giving people consistent feedback. At the same level, financial management means doing a cost-benefit analysis. The skills, they're worlds apart, but the level of complexity, the level of independence, it's the same. That right there is the magic of this whole framework. So we have the map, we understand the levels. So what? How do we actually use this to navigate our own careers? Let's make this personal. Okay, so here is the most crucial point of this entire explainer. This framework is not about making you feel like you have to be a level 5 expert across all 6 pillars. I mean, that's just not realistic. No. Instead, it's a tool for self-awareness, for focused, intentional growth. It's about figuring out where you are and then just identifying what that very next step looks like for you. This framework, it gives you the map and it gives you the compass. It shows you the whole terrain and all the possible paths. But you're the one who gets to choose where you're going to take that next single step. So what's your next move going to be?